Capitosto?
That might be the Capatisto one, I think.
Capotosto.
Tosto?
Toss like you're tossing the ball.
Okay.
Toes on your foot.
Nico. Nico?
Nico.
Nico, okay. Good. Capotosto.
Yeah.
All right. Tommy 1002? 1002?
Tenuta.
Tenuta. Jeez, I
Right
keep.
over that again, you got to it.
Yep. Well, it is phonetically. I'm just.
Or phonetic.
Arger.
I've got Polynesians playing today. It's like, what's going on?
Tenuta.
Samoans are running out onto...
No, they're doing like they're hot dogs.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when I watch the rugby and like either Fiji, Samoan or whatever, those cats come out, it's like, you know, so-and-so Rocker Coco and all those cats. It's amazing. Yeah,
It's just amazing how some things culturally people are just built for.
Do you know what? It's funny you mention that. The BBC did a documentary a couple of months ago. They sent this ex-Welsh player to New Zealand to simply write out.
Carnegie pronunciation.
All right. Perfect.
So they sent him to write out.
Alec Lamb. Long.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yep. Sorry,
Jack,
in your
Sam,
email you just said
Pear.
Jets game, so I didn't have anything.
Sorry.
When you emailed me
Tubiana.
earlier, because I was at women's the whole time.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Thank you so much.
Yep.
When you're in high school, and you get selected for a number, your number on your locker has all the famous players.
Capitosto.
So you look back and it's like, and so the variety is
Alright, we are live, so if you want to mute.
And welcome to the Maroon Broadcast Network here at Amos Alonzo Stagg Field here in Chicago, Illinois, where the Carnegie Mellon Tartans are going to be facing off against the Chicago Maroons, against your Chicago Maroons. Chicago Maroons coming into this game 11-1, coming off of their first loss of the year at home against Emory College, 3-0. Carnegie Mellon is 8-2-1, 1-1 overall in division play. The number 20 team in the nation facing off against the number 4 in Division III men's soccer. It's a beautiful night here for soccer. The lineups have been announced for both teams, and we've had our national anthem. So play is about to begin here on the pitch. Two teams that are very, very good. We saw a great women's game just end very recently, in fact. Fantastic competition between those two, and I don't think this match will disappoint us either. Max Lopez coming into this game has been an absolute beast. I don't think there's another word for it. An absolute beast is what he's been. 13-3. He's had 13 goals this season. The last time I got to watch him play, he manhandled the goaltender and kicked one in over his head. So fantastic play from Max Lopez. He's going to be one of the game changers here for your Chicago Maroons. And we are underway here at Stagg Field, part of the Maroons Broadcast Network here. Who's covering you tonight as the Tartans have the ball near side, and they kick it up deep and head it away. Fine play there from the back line as Nate Johnson goes and runs for it, but the Tartans, he cannot get there in time, so it will be a Tartan throw-in on the far side of the field here, and he throws it in. Far side. Tartans remain in possession, but lose it out of bounds. So it will be a Maroon throw-in, and it looks like an early foul will be called at around the, I believe that was the 50 or the 50-yard line, if you will. Obviously, they don't play yard lines here, but you know, for your viewing pleasure. So around midfield here, it'll be a free kick. And the players are established, and the kick is up, and it is a good kick, and he just missed Max Lopez on that play. Max Lopez was streaking towards the net, and he just missed a header on target. So a potential chance there broken up by the Tartans, and it will be another free kick for the Tartans here in their half of the field, as they work the ball through their defenders. Kicks it kind of deep all the way down, and a nice high kick for the Maroons, played up high, and a couple of headers around. Definitely some physical and quick play as the ball's played up forward. Nearest player, Adeosun, was there. There'll be a foul on the Maroons as the ball continues to work its way around. So it'll be a free kick for the Tartans of Carnegie Mellon University. So it looks like the goalie will take the free kick. Let's see, motions for everybody to move forward. Should be a deep kick then. And kicks away. And it is a deep kick, headed up forward. Ball's around the 50-yard line, or around midfield. A foul called on the Tartans, so the Maroons will retain possession, and the Maroons will deliver the ball till about midfield. I believe that's Adeosun right there, and he was fouled. A lot of fouls here early on from the Tartans. They've definitely got to clean that up. Don't let the pace of play pick up here as we just passed the 42-minute mark here on the Maroons Broadcast Network. 0-0 is your score here. It's a beautiful night, and a header from Max Lopez. What a beautiful setup there from the Maroons. They set Max Lopez up really well and forced a really tough save. That ball will be played deep. So it'll be a throw-in for the Maroons. And play was stopped for some reason as there's a little bit of miscommunication. It looks like maybe the throw-in was a little bit too far up. So now it's the Maroon side of the field. They play it in for Dale Adeosun. He's been a good player this year. Fun player to watch, but the Tartans take it away. And just very briefly, as the Maroons get the ball back on the far side, the ball has remained and stuck on the far side of the field for most of this first half here. As the throw-in goes to Andre Abedian. Chicago Maroons. They were looking for Isaiah Holquist on that play, and that play goes out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in by Josh Schofield. He'll throw that in to Sam Drablos. And a nice kick up there, and University of Chicago's in business. They're in the box. And a fine kick there, but a great save. University of Chicago got in deep in the box. That ball really tested that team, and it'll go for the first corner of the game for the University of Chicago. Deo Adeosun will take this corner kick. 5 minutes into the game, 40 minutes overall, and already a great chance here for the University of Chicago. Oh my goodness, Max Lopez headed it to, I believe that was Isaiah Holquist who he headed it to. It was a crafty play from Max Lopez, and the goalie had to make a tough save. It was almost a redirect, if you will. But the Tartans, retain possession, and that ball go out on the Tartans. Ball went out on Zach Moschio-Pinto. So a throw-in for the University of Chicago. And there's a little tugging going on. Nice little match there to try to get the ball, but that ball will work its way back into Chicago Maroons field as the Maroons retain possession. Ball will work its way to the middle of the field. Nico Capitosto. And that ball continues to work on the far side of the field in Tartan territory. It's kind of been a scrap game so far, but header there by Josh Schofield, and that'll be picked up by Isaiah Holquist on the near side. And little slow down from the Maroons. Try to work some good offense here. Nico Capitosto with the ball, and he delivers that one in deep to the far side. And then well played by the Tartans, but the ball is still loose, and it looks like it could possibly be, it'll be a goal kick here. Looked like it possibly could have been a corner kick there for your Maroons, but it'll work out for a simple corner kick, or a simple goal kick, rather. As the goalie sets, both teams getting into their positions, rightfully. 37-47 left to go here in this first half. Here on the Maroons Broadcast Network. Ball's around midfield here as both teams scrap for possession. Tartans win out on possession, and they work the ball far side, or near side, rather. Looks like it went out on Zach Moschio-Pinto again. So it'll be another throw-in for your Maroons. That one was going up for Dio Adeosun, but well played there by the Tartans, and the Tartans retain possession, but both teams scrap, and that ball went out on Anthony Gully, so ball works its way up to Dale Adeosun. It's a fun name to say. Ball stays in Maroon possession into the middle of the field, and it works its way up to the near side of the field over there for Josh Schofield. That ball will go out of bounds, so Should be a Tartan throw-in here. That'll be Zach McCambridge on the throw-in. And a good throw-in at that. It was a crafty play from Philip Petrakian, but he didn't have anybody with him, so all for naught as the Maroons retain possession. Ball will go out of bounds, so it'll be a Chicago Maroon throw-in. That ball will be batted up in the air for Dio Adeosun. It looks like it'll be a foul on the Tartans, as this pace is very high. So both teams really coming out and trying to establish themselves early on with 36 minutes left to go here at Alonzo Stagg Field. And the kick is in from the free kick, and it's a deep one. Going for Max Lopez once again, but just missed Max Lopez and headed off by the defense of the Tartans. Headed back once again into Tartan territory. Tartans retain possession, but a great back check from the Maroons. So the play continues on. Great step up there. Stacy Ryman with a fantastic step up. Really did a good job to take the ball away and prevent any danger from coming out of there around the midfield mark. So, still scrum here for possession. Both teams are really fighting out there. Dio Adeosun sends a nice one out there for Josh Schofield once again, and the ball in, and made a tough save. Really, really tough save there for the Tartans, but University of Chicago really is applying a lot of pressure out there. A deep ball in from the Tartans. Neither team really established possession or time of possession on the ball here so far, but the University of Chicago and Dio Adeosun, great shot from Adeosun. My goodness, what a fantastic shot from Adeosun and a fantastic save. Tartans defense really have to watch Adeosun. He's a crafty player out there. It'll work itself in for a corner kick here. 34-20 left to go here in this first half. Right here, you're listening to Maroon Broadcast Network as the corner comes in, and the ball's still up in the air and loose. And Adeosun once again was trying to get his sights on the ball, but well played by the Tartans defense, and that was cleared, almost cleared out, but it'll come back to Schofield once again, and a fantastic ball in from Schofield, and a great pass there. The ball still near side, and another great pass in, but well played by the Tartan defense to clear any danger once again. Ball work its way over to Isaiah Holquist, and Holquist is still going. That'll be kicked out, I believe, for a throw-in. So Schofield will throw the ball in. And he threw it into Adrian Abedian. So that ball will be kicked out by the Tartans. Looks like once again, this time it looks like a Tartan throw-in. So well played by the Tartans defense to limit any attack from the Maroons here so far. Couple of good chances for the Maroons, but for the most part, looks like a foul will be called on Andre Abedian. A little bit too much contact on the upper body. So it'll go for a free kick here for the Tartans. Tartans play it back. Jack McCambridge still has the ball. Delivers that one deep into Maroon territory, but once again, well played by Sam Drablos and that entire University of Chicago back line. Abedian delivers a fantastic ball in. Actually, that was Adeosun, not Abedian. Ball will be worked around far side to the midfield. Comes up near side over to Schofield. And Schofield works that one back into the middle to Andre Abedian. And Abedian delivers a deep ball over to the far side and a fantastic run out. And he tries to... That's Matthew Coe over there. Tried to create a little something over there on that far side in Tartan territory. Nothing doing, but Adeosun will have a corner kick here with 31:45 left to go here in this first half. Still nobody scored, and it looks like we got a possibly a timeout. Timeout on the field right now. Looks like the potentially a few words shared between defender Jack McCambridge and the one of the line judges out there. But a well-played corner by the Tartan defense, and the Tartan defense will clear it out to about midfield. So the Maroons will slow it down a little bit. And the ball continues to work around, and it'll be another foul. Looks like that was Sam Drablos with a little bit too much contact there. Another foul there. Speed of this game is very high, as we've been able to notice. This is a very high-paced game here so far. Both teams really want to come out and establish themselves early, which is definitely important. You definitely want to come out and establish yourself. As that free kick goes down, and it'll be a foul on the Tartans. Yet again, another little bit too much contact. Schofield is over here on the near side around midfield. Ball will be played forward, but it looks like it'll be a throw-in for Schofield and the Chicago Maroons. He'll decide to throw it back. A safe throw to Sam Drablos. And that works over to Nico Capitasto. And it'll work itself over to the far side. And he'll kick that one up deep. And a nice header there. Adeosun will take over and try to get something going here for the Maroons as the deep ball goes into Josh Schofield. And Schofield hits it over to Isaiah Holquist. And Holquist kicks it deep. And a nice header there. And oh, he just missed the far post. The near post, rather. What a great header there. Lopez is so good anywhere around the net. 13 goals. You don't get 13 goals by accident. That's a lot of talent that you've got on Max Lopez. He is a lot of fun to watch out there. Always such a dangerous striker. This will be a goal kick here for the Tartans, and the ball goes deep for the Tartans. Headed out by, and that'll be a foul and a tough one. That might be a yellow card, and it will be. It'll be a yellow card on defenseman Isaiah Holquist. Unfortunately, no contact with the ball and a lot of contact with, I believe that is Jimmy Jameson. A lot of contact with his head. So it'll be a free kick and a yellow card. So that'll be your first discipline handed out today. 29-20 left to go here in this first half on the Maroon Broadcasting Network. There's the deep ball from the Tartans, but I'm not entirely sure where he was going with that. But he kicked it far out of bounds, and it'll be a Schofield throw-in just the same. He'll throw it in deep over, but well played by the Tartans, and they take it back immediately. Nothing doing for the Maroons here so far. Schofield tried to clear it, but well played from Adeosun, and that'll draw another foul. Foul's on Jack Painter, sophomore midfielder for the Tartans. And the ball works its way to midfield, or thereabouts. And the Maroons look to attack again, but well played by the Tartan defense, and they stepped up and pushed the ball up to about midfield, and they're on a counterattack run here, led by Jack Painter, and Jack Painter kicks it up, but well played by the Chicago Maroons defense, kicks it back into Tartan territory. We got a little ping pong going on right now, a little little ricochet every now and then. So Nico Capitosto dribbles the ball to about midfield, gets the ball back, and he'll work it to the far end, and looks like that ball very near to the out-of-bounds line. Well stepped up from the Maroons defense, but not took a bad ricochet, and the Tartans are on their first counterattack. Well played by the defense. Possibly looks like it'll be a corner kick, but I was more worried about there being a foul called out there, because a free kick from that range would be a little bit more dangerous. But it'll be a free kick nonetheless, or a corner kick nonetheless for the Tartans. I believe this is their second corner kick so far in this match. So another shot to score here with 27-20 for the Tartans. The Maroons have to hold on and do a good job, and they did just that. It'll ricochet off the head, maybe of Lopez or one of the guys in the box, but nonetheless, it'll go for another Tartan corner, now on the near side rather than the far side. And it looks like Philip Petrekian will take the corner kick, do the honors for the Tartans. And he'll kick it up with the lefty boot, and it's headed up in the air, but the Tartans made contact with it and made some more contact, but possibly a foul called on this play. They're calling for the trainer to come out as they took some head contact out there. I can't see who's down, but he definitely took some contact down there on, it looks like he's holding his head and he's down. Maybe he's trying to regain his bearings, but we're definitely having the trainers come out and take a look at him. 26:38 left to go here in this first half. As soon as we get some acknowledgement on who that is, we'll let everybody know. Looks like it's Nate Johnson, defenseman. Nate Johnson, sophomore defenseman from McLean, Virginia. My goodness. So long way from here. I believe he and his goaltender as well, Hill Bonin, are asking about a potential foul called, but to no avail, I'm sure. Looks like it'll just be a routine goal kick here, but obviously they were not very happy that there was not a foul called on there. And Nate Johnson still seems a little upset about it as he grabs a drink of water and walks over to the around midfield. So we should get play going here pretty soon. And Hill Bonin will do the honors out of goal. Looks like Philip Petrekian will come in as well, as them both were involved in that scrum. So a good kick from Hill Bonin, but out of bounds by quite a bit. So the Tartans will retain possession and will get it in Maroon territory. Well played, though, headed away by the Maroons, but the Tartans retain possession. They kick it up far, but looks like a Deoson's in there and throwing his body around. Fun play. Fun player to watch. He's got a nice runner there. Matthew Coe, he set up Matthew Coe really, really well. And across there. Oh, and he just missed. He just missed. I believe that was Lopez who was streaking in. He just did miss him. What a fantastic cross there from Matthew Coe, and a fantastic runner as well. My goodness, he streaked all the way down the field and just did miss Max Lopez. Little bit too much English on that one, if you will. But nonetheless, it will be a goal kick for the Tartans. The Tartans will kick this one deep, as all the players are getting organized here on the field. Play that one deep, and one out by a Deoson. And potentially a foul called on that one, so looks like it'll be, are they gonna have a beating do that one, or no, they'll have Sam Drablos do the honors of kicking that free kick away. So Obedien's got the ball, and he'll deliver it deep to Matthew Coe, and Lopez actually is the one to get it, and what a great pass from, and he moved it over into the middle of the field. And the Maroons are still on the attack as Josh Schofield works it in. And he'll give a pass into the middle, and a great pass from the middle of the field, and well played by the Tartans defense. They kick that one away. Looks like it'll be called as the Maroons kick that one away.
Handball.
Oh, it'll be a handball violation, as I just got it confirmed. So it'll be another goal kick there. 24-16 left to go here in this first half. 0-0 is your score. Right here on this, your Maroons broadcast network. Glad you could join us this evening at, if you're listening in or you're here watching us at Amos Alonzo Stagg Field here in Chicago. It's a beautiful night for soccer, so we really appreciate you attending and being here with us on this beautiful night. As the Tartans work the ball over to the middle of the field, and they work they work it near side, but well played by the defense, and Lopez kicks it up for Adeosun, and Adeosun's on the run with a crafty little play, and he leaves it for Abedian, and it's a kind of a give and go play, as they say, but just too far for Adeosun from Abedian, and it'll go for another goal kick here. So as we have a moment to slow down a little bit and reflect on the game so far. Great game from both teams. Both teams are definitely challenging each other. Lots of fouls called so far. And throughout 22 minutes of play, we are still scoreless, but definitely a plethora of chances from both teams. Really like the way that both teams are playing and coming out and competing and challenging each other. Ball works its way into the middle of the field for Max Lopez. Well read by the Tartan defense, though, and it will be stripped away from him. So they've got a runner out there, and it's a foot race between the goalie and I didn't see who was streaking for the Tartans. It looks like it's Philip Patrikian with the streak out, but it was a crazy foot race, and the Maroons still just now get possession, and they clear it just a little bit out of the zone. In a last-ditch kind of attempt to try to clear the ball out. But my goodness, that last play was a pure foot race between the goalie and Patrikian, and the goalie just did win out. My goodness, Hill Bonin really had to streak out to get that ball and just kick it away in desperation. Fantastic runner in there for the Tartans, and the Tartans are definitely challenging as the Maroons now are on the chase here. Adeosun, and a nice little give and go once again to Adeosun, but just a smidge out of his reach there, and it will go for another goal kick. It's kind of been the story for the Maroons. They've really had good effort, and they've been able to work the sides of the field really well, but getting the ball into the middle of the field and being able to retain possession deep on the Tartans side of the field has been kind of a problem, and that's kind of hindered their offense here so far, but great effort from both teams, and the Tartans have done a good job of challenging and closing down those lanes, those passing lanes, and really making it challenging, but both teams are playing very, very well here so far. As the Tartans retain possession, and a fantastic ball in. Looks like it was Patrikian once again, and a nice pass, and oh my goodness, he just did miss. That was a beautiful feed in there from Patrikian. I believe that's Philip Patrikian in there, and he centered that pass, and my goodness, the Tartans just did miss a goal there. 20-30 left to go here in the first half. My goodness, mark that one down as a huge chance for the Tartans. They've had so many good opportunities so far, and they've just not been able to capitalize. Both teams have gotten the ball into the middle of the field. They just have not been able to put it into the back of the net. It's kind of been the story here so far at Stagg Field here. On a beautiful night here in the city of Chicago. 20 minutes left to play. 25 minutes have elapsed. Max Lopez gets the ball, and he sends out a deep runner for Adeosun, who has to run a long way, and it'll just be kicked away. So it'll be a throw-in for the Maroons here. Going for the Maroons. Looks like it's to Max Lopez, and possibly another handball there from the Maroons. So it'll be a free kick for the Tartans once again. Still no score here at Stag Field. Another deep ball sent in and headed away by the Maroons. It'll work its way over to Josh Holquist, and Holquist will just tap that one out, and it'll be a throw-in for Jack McCambridge, who's had quite a busy night here so far. And a fine tip away. And they tried to work the middle of the field on a breakout once again, but well played and defended by the Tartans, and possibly not a great pass, but worked its way from Schofield to Holquist back there on the near side, and then works its way to the defense there on the far side, and a great runner, and he just missed another almost chance there set up, just a little bit over ambitious with the power, and it'll be a simple throw-in for the Tartans. 18-16 left to go here in the first half. Still no score. And a nice header and a tap in, and it'll land right into the defense, and the defense heads it around a little bit, and it'll be a foot race, and it'll be won out by the Maroons, and it'll be a throw-in from Schofield, as Holquist was able to deliver a good ball in there, so the Maroons work it back to their end. Stacy Ryman over there, playing the ever-important middle defense. That ball over for Nick Capitasto. And it'll work its way around near side to Schofield, and that'll work up to Isaiah Holquist, who's been quite busy. Already had a yellow card in this game. That'll be a deep ball in and an easy catch for the Tartans. So it'll be a simple goal kick once again for the Tartans, who have been incredibly busy. But great pressure from the Maroons, and Max Lopez, he's creating a lot of things happening, but it'll be another goal kick as the ball ricocheted off of Max Lopez. But Lopez is doing such a fine job of applying pressure, and that was very well played by the scoring forwards for the Maroons, but still comes up as a result of a goal kick. And it's a good goal kick to get it around midfield, headed up forward by the Maroons and possibly tackled, but Adeosun gets the ball back in, and my goodness, he's a streak of lightning when he gets going. That should be a foul, but looks like they didn't call it. In fact, they called a foul the other way. Confusing play there on the pitch, but we play on, as the Tartans will get the free kick. 16:05 left to go here in the first half. Beautiful night. And what a beautiful kick. But well headed out by the back line of the Maroons. And well played as they stepped up. Lopez is applying really good pressure and forcing the Tartans to continue to kick it deep. And that ball hit ahead from Schofield, but Lopez will take it over after the misplay from the Tartans, and a nice runner there for Adeosun, or Abedian rather, but Abedian continues to hold the ball, and he'll kick it back, but a little bit too soft on the kick, and it'll go for a Tartan throw-in. Needed to put a little bit more on that and lead his man a little bit better there, but same result, as it'll be a throw-in for the Tartans. A lot of missed opportunities here so far from the Maroons, and the Tartans have been able to make a couple things happen themselves, but both teams are wishing that they had some of these opportunities back, as Adeosun wins kind of the one-on-one battle, and it'll go down to Abedian, but good block out there, and it'll be another goal kick for the Tartans. We got a couple substitutions as Renato Corgi coming in, Carter Romero, and Scott Lick will all be coming in for the Maroons. Big substitution here by the Maroons. And it looks like Isaiah Holquist will come out. Nate Johnson on defense will come out as well. And then looks like the final one will be that Matthew Coe coming out as well. Well done for Matthew Coe. He's made a couple of really, really good things happen here so far. A couple of fantastic runners out, and he's been able to make some offense. Their best opportunities have come from him and Lopez. Working on the near side of the field here is Josh Schofield, and he'll deliver a nice deep ball in. And, oh, he just missed. I believe that's Max Lopez once again. Schofield just missed Max Lopez. He's looking for a foul, but no dice, says the referee as they play on. It'll be another goal kick. A lot of contact here in this first half. Both teams are playing very, very aggressively. 13:23 left to go here in this first half. And yet another, this must be double-digit goal kicks here so far from the Tartans. I swear, they have had so many goal kicks here in the early going, but that is a good thing. Chicago's been able to get enough pressure forward to force that many goal kicks, just not been able to get anything out of them. So it'll be another throw-in at around the midfield mark, far side of the field. Chicago Maroons will retain possession, and another deep ball in for Lopez. Looks like Lopez was going for it, but he was sealed off pretty well by the Tartan defense and kicked away in a mad scramble. Greg Belwar. And another deep ball in. Well played by the Maroons defense, and the Maroons will look to get back at it. Schofield was a little surprised that he was going to get the ball there, but he was able to deliver it forward, but Capitasto was unable to do anything with it, and oh my goodness, that was a lot of contact that they let go there on Max Lopez. Looks like he kind of got leveled on that play. Definitely a very physical game here so far in the early going. And a nice deep ball in for the Tartans, but it will be a call. So the Maroons take over and deliver another deep ball in. Max Lopez there is always in the center of the action. And the Tartans, good defense, takes it away, but it will be out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for Josh Schofield once again, who's had a busy night here on the near side of the field. And he throws it in. And, well, you're not going to get away with that. Capitasto with a foul called. A little bit too over-ambitious with his contact there. So it'll be a free kick for the Tartans once again. And it looks like Belwar will take this one as the teams jostle around and get into position. Nice deep ball in there from Belwar, and a nice header there to clear out any trouble, but that ball was centered. Nobody was in the vicinity for the Tartans, but my goodness, what an opportunity it could have been. It was a fantastic cross from the Tartans and just not able to make anything out of it, but it'll be a throw-in for the Maroons nonetheless. And a couple steps forward to try to get plenty of power. And they kick the ball deep. Headed back around by the Tartans. Kicked up in the air by Carter Romero. And the ball just continues to jostle around. No team really taking possession of it, and it looks like it will be out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for Jack McCambridge, but then they reverse the call. So it looks like it'll be a throw-in for Schofield and the Maroons. Wild turn of events there, I say. 10 minutes left to go here in the first half. Still no score, but an exciting game to say the least. Lots of contact, a couple of fouls, more than a handful, and even a yellow card. The Maroons will retain possession at around midfield. They'll work the ball over to Schofield here in the near side, and he'll get it to around midfield. decides just to turn it around and flip the side of the field. Gets the ball into the middle, and a pretty pass there from Capitosto. Well played by the Tartan defense, but still far side. And the Maroons will hold the ball for a little bit and then get a deep ball in. And, oh, he just did miss Carter Romero there. Carter Romero, one of the new players that's in. Schofield kicks the ball kind of in a dangerous place. But no harm, no foul as the Maroons retain possession. But then a kind of a lame pass there. Not enough on that pass from the Maroons, and the Tartans retake possession, and they'll get the throw-in on the deep far side of the field. 8:46 left to go here in this first half. Still no score, but there is a substitution coming in. Ryan Steinbaugh is coming in for Anthony Gully. Gooley. Exciting game here so far at Stag Field here on the Maroon Broadcast Network. And the Maroons still retain possession, but a little sloppy footwork there. No harm, no foul as the Maroons clear it deep. Going for a Deosin, but that ball was a little bit too ambitious. It looked like Capitosto was going for the ball, but it was taken away by the Tartans. And the Tartans are on the move. They've got a couple streakers out there. And a nice cross in. Oh, my goodness. He just did miss the top. It was a beautiful cross in there by the Tartans, but well kicked away there by Scott Lick of the defense. And it'll be a simple throw-in here for the Tartans. The Tartans have definitely had some opportunities, and they're looking to strike once again with 7.5 minutes left to go. Looks like another substitution will be coming in at the next dead ball for the Chicago Maroons. As the Maroons kick the ball deep once again. Back out to around midfield. The Tartans retain possession, now back into their own end. And they play the ball forward. And that ball just behind him, so Gary Zhao will come in. And we'll see who he's coming in for. Who's coming out of the game here. Can't quite see the number yet. Looks like it's Max Lopez. We'll get a quick breather before halftime, and before the second half commences, he'll get a little bit of a break. Well-deserved break for Max Lopez. He's run out there and made quite a sweat as the Tartans retain possession near the far end of the Maroons sideline. And the ball's headed in by the Tartans, and just a smart play to just head it out, but the Tartans retain possession deep into the zone. Great defense by Andre Abedian. Fantastic play there defensively from Abedian, and he's done so well. And Adeosen will draw the foul on the Tartans, so it will be a Maroon free kick with 6 minutes left to go here. The Maroons desperate to try to get a score, especially with their main striker on the bench getting a breather. So it'll be a free kick. As everybody settles and all the players get organized. A lot of contact and a lot of movement. The deep ball's coming in and well played, headed off by the Tartan defense. And that ball's played up for Schofield, and Josh Schofield will tap it across to Sam Drablos, and Drablos will hold the ball, and it'll be a throw-in. Looks like Drablos will throw it in, and it's a deep throw-in. And that ball will be played off of the Maroons, so it'll be a throw-in for Jack McCambridge and the Tartan defense. Be a throw-in here. 5 minutes left to go in this first half. Still no score at Stag Field. This is the Maroon Broadcast Network. No throw-in. Contained pretty well by the Tartans, and the Tartans are streaking now down the field. Well played by the defense, but they're still trying to go at it, and a nice cross there, but nobody was in the vicinity. Masio Pinto there with a beautiful cross from the Tartans. Well played by the Maroons, and the Maroons still have not cleared their zone yet. And there's some tackling and some looks like some actual American football was being played out there with some tackling and, you know, kicking and stuff. But no doubt as a foul was called. So the Maroons will retain possession. And Hilbonen will kick the ball deep into the Tartan line. And it'll be a foul called on the Tartans. So the Maroons will have a free kick here coming up as the players run up and get organized. Really a very interesting game here with 3:41 left to go. Still no score. Low-scoring game here between the two teams. And a nice deep ball in and headed up into the air by the defense. But it's a foot race and they kicked it out, but it will be out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Maroons, and this is a good opportunity for them if they want to try to score, as they throw in quickly. They don't waste any time, and what is that, a handball, it looks like, so it'll be a free kick. Not the first time that's happened tonight for the Maroons. Unintentional handball, so no penalty or cards. Discipline will be received. So a free kick for the Tartans. It's nice and deep as both teams are scattering for position, and the Chicago Maroons want it out. They'll play it deep and just miss Zhao on the near side. So it'll be a throw-in for the ever-busy Jack McCambridge for the Tartans. Probably had 6 throw-ins here so far. And it'll be another Tartan throw-in. So, Jack McCambridge, back to your post, sir. 2:18 left to go here in the first half. And a good job by the Maroons just to clear that one out, but it comes back to McCambridge, and McCambridge delivers a very high and very deep ball, headed out by a couple of players, and back up into the air, as that one's headed away. And it looks like that'll be a foul called on the Tartans, believe it or not. Obstruction is the call. Good call from the PA guy. So Hilbonen will deliver the ball deep, giving the sign for everybody to go deep here with 1:30 left to go at Stag Field. And that's a very good ball, deep. Threaten the Tartan defense, but it looks like it will be a throw-in for the Maroons. And Schofield will do the honors of throwing the ball in. Looking for Zhao originally, but he was pretty well covered, so threw it in. And well played by the Tartans defense. 1 minute is all that is left here in this first half. Schofield looks a little gimpy, but he's all right. You certainly hope. Schofield with the throw in here. He was looking for some forward progress there. He's going for a beat-in, but he was pretty well covered by the Tartans. Headed out, so it'll be another throw in for Schofield and the Maroons, with about 26 seconds left to go here in the first half, and a kind of a clumsy foul there from Renato Corgi tonight. So it'll be a free kick here with about 10 seconds left to go.
10, 9, 8, 7.
So I'm sure they'll try to get something deep and try to get a last-ditch attempt, but as the clock expires here in the first half, 0-0 is the score going into halftime. Well played half from both teams. Neither team really got the advantage. A lot of fouls, a lot of physical play out there, and a yellow card handed out, but not for lack of trying for both teams. So We will have a short halftime break, but in about 15 minutes or so, we will be back right here on the Maroons Broadcast Network. Stay tuned for more second half action. And welcome back to Alonzo Stagg Field here in the beautiful city of Chicago, home of the Chicago University Maroons. They're getting taken on today by the Carnegie Mellon Tartans. So far, it's been kind of a physical and interesting game to watch. Neither team has been able to take advantage of the other's mistakes, and the scoreboard sits at 0-0 as the darkness starts to take effect here and the lights become ever more prominent on the field. We're now underway and just did miss Matthew Coe on that play, on that nice cross. So it will be Tartans' ball once again, and that one goes off the Tartans. So Coe with the field, with the throw-in. He decides to let Scott Lick do the honors. What a guy. So the throw-in turns over to the Tartans, and the Tartans send the ball deep. Well played by the defense. The Maroons' defense has played quite stout today here in the first half, at least. They played very, very well. So let's see if they can continue to do so in the second half. As the Tartans maintain possession, they kick the ball deep. The ball does not go out of bounds, but retains in bounds for the Tartans, taken away by very savvy defensive work by the Maroons, and they are rolling here. Matthew Coe with the ball, and he's got runners with him. He centers it, and he scores! What a goal! What a fantastic goal there. And that is Colquist with that goal. And Matthew Coe with the assist there. What a beautiful goal. What a beautiful goal. Maroons strike first, 43:08. 1-0 Maroons right here on the Maroons Broadcasting Network. It's a beautiful night for soccer, even more beautiful if you are a Maroons fan because you are now up 1-0 here. What a beautiful play all the way around by the Maroons. Great run out. Matthew Coe with a beautiful pass to set up such a beautiful run. And a much-needed goal here for the Maroons, who really had a lot of trouble. But Isaiah Holquist, no trouble there, getting the goal. And it looks like there will be a foul called. And that's Dio Adeosun, who was on the field quite a bit, laying down quite often. Fell over a couple times. Not too many calls, but got a couple of fouls on that play. So the ball will be continued and a turnover. The Tartans turned it over, and Max Lopez, oh my goodness, what a save. Oh, and it was just offsides too. What a fantastic play there. Matthew Coe with the crafty turnover created, and a fantastic job by Max Lopez, and what a fine save by Alec Lamb. Much needed save too by the Tartans, but it was indeed offsides, so no shot will be recorded. But deep ball in for the Tartans, taken away by the Maroons. Tartans really need to get themselves back in and focused, locked in again, slow the game down a little bit. Maroons have gotten a couple of good chances here so far, so Tartans' game plan going forward, slow the ball down a little bit and work some quality chances in. And this might be one of those quality chances. Oh, but it'll be a foul called. Possibly a questionable call from Scott Lick, but the call will stand nonetheless. Whether you agree with it or not, it will be a foul. So it'll be a free kick for the Tartans here. 41:04 left to play here in the second half. 1-0 lead for your Chicago Maroons here on the Maroons Broadcasting Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. Anthony Gooley will take this free kick once everybody gets organized. And it's a dandy of a kick, too. Fine kick in there. And another one in. And, oh, just did miss that near post. What a fantastic offensive set there from the Tartans. Really did. Really did challenge the Maroons there. But still no dice. And it'll be just another routine goal kick for the Maroons. Hillbonen will take the kick. And it's a fine kick as well. Deep, but the Tartans retain possession. And a nice header there from the Maroons. Tartans retain possession at midfield. And it'll be another foul called on the UChicago Maroons. So free kick awarded to the Tartans as everybody walks up slowly and methodically, if you will. Prepares for the kick, the Tartans do. And it's a deep kick, too. Nice header out by the Maroons. And now they're looking to get a counterattack going. But kind of slow developing counterattack here. So the Maroons will slow it down and they'll push the ball forward a little bit. And they were looking for Adeosun, but looks like it'll be a foul on Adeosun. A little bit too aggressive of a challenge there. So it'll be another foul on the Maroons and a Tartan free kick. And the Tartans are going quick here. Well, once again, a fine header from the Maroons' back line. They've done such a good job on these Tartan strikers. And they're all the way over, and a great slide tackle, and that'll be a throw-in for the Tartans, but a fantastic slide tackle there from the Maroons. I believe that was Matthew Coe with that slide tackle. Fine play there, and that'll be a foul in the box. So it's possible that this could be a free kick, and that's a yellow card. Second disciplinary action handed out by the officials, and both have been against the University of Chicago. I believe that's going against Dio Adeosun. He tries to plead his case, but to no avail. And it'll be a free kick here in a dangerous part of the field for the Tartans. This is going to be one of those opportunities that you could possibly mark down in your scorebooks as they line up, and it's a fine kick, and oh my goodness, Hillbonen had to make a save on that play. He actually had to tip that one up and out of play. That was a beautiful kick. Textbook free kick. He got a great bend on that ball, and the ball just did miss going in. Great save from Hillbonen. Awarded a penalty kick, or a corner kick. And that one will be played out by the Maroons. So the Tartans miss another opportunity and a corner kick as well. Still being trotted out by the Maroons to about the far mid line. And the Maroons are still on the counterattack here on the far side of the field. Doing a fine job. They just slowed it down a little bit, try to slow the game down and reassert themselves. Touched away briefly by the Tartans on the far side of the field, but that ball stays in bounds. And that will go all the way down, and a nice cross here from the Maroons, but nobody in the vicinity. So it'll be slowed down and played out. And a nice in, I believe that's Scott Lick who delivered that one in. And a fine play, but well played by the Tartan defense. And it looks like, and he still got it. Oh my goodness, another great corner or a cross kick there. They had to make a fantastic save. Alec Lamb with the save there. He had to make a good one too. That was a very oddly placed ball. couple of great opportunities there for the Chicago Maroons. 36-25 left to go in the second half here at Stagg Field in Chicago, Illinois. It's being broadcasted on the Maroon Broadcast Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. Be a free kick for the University of Chicago. And the Maroons, a nice little thing, and that should be a penalty kick. He hugged him on that play. My goodness, that was a lot of contact on that play, and I'd imagine that this would be a penalty kick here. I can't say for sure. It's out of my realm of expertise. So it will be a penalty kick, and I think Matthew Coe will be the one awarded with it. So another fantastic opportunity for the Maroons to score here on a penalty kick. Matthew Coe lines up, and it's in, and it's good. Matthew Coe with the goal. Penalty kick. 35-57, mark that down. What a beautiful penalty kick from Matthew Coe. Beautiful, beautiful play there. 2-0 to your Maroons. That play proved costly for the Tartans there. Quite an extensive foul and awarded with a penalty kick. Definitely have to be kicking yourself if you're the Tartans, because that penalty really wasn't necessary. But nonetheless, the Maroons will take advantage of it. They'll take it. Be a free kick for the Tartans. Maroons very happily up 2-0 now. Tartans have to pull themselves together here, as 2 goals in 10 minutes have really shot up their chances. But a nice free kick in the box, and that's headed up and just out of the reach of an offensive attack there. They're playing up quite a bit. Only 2 defenders back for the Tartans. Dangerous position, and that's kind of a cheap shot. That'll be a yellow card. That was really silly. Greg Belwar. The Tartans have to play more disciplined. They're letting really, really silly plays dictate the outcome of this game. That's 2 yellow cards now handed out as discipline in this second half, and a penalty kick that amounted to a goal. The wheels have kind of fallen off for the Tartans. Definitely want to look for the Maroons to take advantage of the Tartans' sloppy play, as Matthew Coe sends a ball into the box, but no dice happens from that, and it'll be a nice slide tackle, and well done to keep possession of the ball very briefly, and the Maroons keep possession of the ball, but a lot of contact there. And a nice ball forward, but well done by the Maroons to trust their defenders back, and it'll be just a simple kick away from Hillbonen. Had kind of a quiet night so far. Couple of saves, but that'll be an offside call. Just a little bit ambitious, over-ambitious on that run across. Not a bad penalty, though. It's one of those penalties where you're really trying, you're playing disciplined, and, you know, just get a little bit ahead of yourselves. 34 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here for the game between the University of Chicago Maroons and the Carnegie Mellon Tartans. It's been an interesting game so far if you're just tuning in. 2-0 Maroons over the Tartans, but the Tartans have really shot themselves in the foot a couple times and really missed a couple of opportunities, so the Maroons were able to take advantage, and it looks like another great opportunity from Max Lopez, and Max Lopez goes to work, and what a cross. He just missed. Beautiful play there from Max Lopez as he puts on a dribbling clinic, and oh my goodness, he made another guy miss, and another beautiful cross into the box. Max Lopez is having himself a crazy minute here or two. My goodness, what a couple of great passes into the box. If he had some players running with him, that could have been another goal. And that'll be a foul called on the University of Chicago. And it looks like we're going to get a yellow card on the coach for the Tartans. Must have said something there that the coach didn't really appreciate. Oh, the yellow card is on the Chicago coach. My goodness, being up 2-0 seems a little careless. Nothing the matter. So does that mean that they have to play with 11 men if the coach gets kicked out? No, okay. I got the word from the big people upstairs. So we play on here at Stag Field. 32:53 left to go here in the second half. 2-0 Maroons. Favorable stat line if you are a Maroons fan. Definitely like this outcome so far. A couple of costly plays from the Tartans have cost themselves a goal and a couple of other good chances. And it's not every day that you see a yellow card given to a coach, but one to Chicago's coach. Play will continue here as the Tartans look to try to get something going here, but well played by the Maroons defense, and it will be a throw-in on the far side of around midfield here for the Tartans. So the throw-in comes in, and nice little play there from the defense to dislocate the ball from the man. And it looked like there could have been a foul called on that play, but play continues on. They're definitely letting a lot of physicality go into this game, and resulting yellow cards will come from a higher percentage of physical plays. Definitely have to retain your composure out there for both teams. Both teams have to do a better job and just remain disciplined out there. You don't want to start committing silly penalties, especially if you're the University of Chicago, who's already up. Lick got a great run out of that box, and he really got a great jump out there. He took a shot, but looks like that'll be a foul called, maybe? Handball will be called, will be assessed to the Tartans, so it looks like it'll be a free kick here for the University of Chicago. A couple substitutes will come in when play stops enough for everybody to, enough time for everybody to get in. And a nice kick in across. He tried to get a good cross in there and headed away by the Tartans. Well done by the Tartans, but just a little bit too far out. So coming into the game now will be Renato Corgi and Carter Romero. Looks like Dio Adeosun will be coming out of the game, as well as that Isaiah Holquist will be coming out of the game as a fine save was just made by Alec Lamb. Another fantastic opportunity for the University of Chicago Maroons as the 30-minute mark just elapsed down. So below 30 minutes left to play here at Stag Field. Beautiful, beautiful night in Chicago. The sun has gone down entirely and the lights have taken full effect here. So it's a beautiful night. It's getting chilly. Well, not chilly, but it's definitely cooling off after a hot day here in Chicago, as the physical play continues here from both teams. So University of Chicago will retain possession here and pop the ball into the middle of the field. They'll slow it down just a smidge and pop it to the middle of the field, and good thing Lick is there. Or actually, Lick has the ball now. I believe that was Stacy Ryman with the run, and they've got a good run in, but well played by the Tartan defense, and they've played well tonight. Both teams have, and what a great feed up on a running, streaking Tartan. Zach Macio Pinto on the run, and Looks like a couple players go down. We play on as the Maroons retain possession, and play is a little bit staggered and slowed down now. The Maroons will just play it ahead, and it'll slow down. So the Tartans will remain in possession here. Ball's over to Moskowitz. Taken away immediately, so back to the Tartans. They'll send it across from Belwar. And he'll play it over to... And then that ball's turned over to Max Lopez, and Max Lopez sends another ball in, and my goodness, he's done such a good job of passing and trying to get the rest of his teammates involved. And a nice running chance for the Tartans. Looks like there's an offside run. A little bit of confusion, but nonetheless, it was a save by Hilbonen. So no harm, no foul. It'll be a free kick here for the University of Chicago. 27-26 left to go in this second half. 2-0 start for second half. 18 minutes. Mostly dominated by the University of Chicago. But I say dominated very loosely because a couple of big mistakes from the Tartans and another potential opportunity there for the Maroons kicked away harmlessly by the Tartans. So it'll be a throw-in, and we have some substitutions. Josh Schofield's going to come into the game, and looks like Ryan Steinbaugh is going to be coming in. And coming out is, I believe, Jamie Wheaton is coming out for the Tartans. Try to get some fresh legs out there for both teams. So Schofield is coming back into the game. It's good to see Schofield back. Busy first half. Many throw-ins, in fact. But the University of Chicago retains possession, and that will be a yellow card as he's reaching into his pocket. And he pulls out a yellow card, so more discipline on the Tartans follows. Another big play there. And that was quite a big collision. Went for a slide tackle, got too much of the man and not enough of the ball. And that will lead to some discipline and a free kick. So the Maroons will get a free kick deep in, and that'll be a foul called on the Maroons. Some physical play there. This game has been very, very physical, and I imagine that it will only get more and more so as the 26-minute mark left to play in the second half is to follow. So the kick is up. Free kick. And headed off by the Maroons. Headed once again. The ball is on the far side. Played up ahead. And that one's kicked out of bounds. So it will be... It was kicked out of bounds by the Maroons. So it will be a Tartan throw-in on the far side of the field. And the Maroons will retake possession very briefly, kick it up to about the midfield mark, but played forward again by the Tartans, and the Tartans survey the field and look for some passing options. Nothing has come out yet, but a nice headed away by the Maroons, and looks like maybe a foul called. Offside call, once again. I'm terrible with guessing at these. I should have noticed by the flag up, shouldn't I? Yes. Indeed. Well, we shall play on here. Under 25 minutes left to go here in the second half. Your Maroons lead the Tartans 2-0. Crafty play there from Max Lopez, but nothing came out of it as the Tartans, it looks like, had possession of it for a second, but then the Maroons played it forward, and a nice little touch pass there, and Schofield goes down, no call. And the Tartans move the ball forward. Tried to get a little kick pass there, but was knocked out by the Maroons, so the Tartans will retain possession. They'll slow it down here on the near side of the field in Maroon territory, and they've got a nice run in and well headed away by the Maroons and then kicked away by Scott Lick. Fine run in there. Macio Pinto yet again with a nice run, and we have a substitution. Nick Isham is now in the game. And it looks like that's Cooper Tubiana coming out. So that's your substitution for the Tartans. And we got a substitution coming up here pretty soon for the University of Chicago. It looks like he's coming in now as the ball goes out of bounds. Matthew Coe is back into the game, who scored that penalty kick goal. And it looks like we've got, is that Max Lopez, I believe, coming out of the game? So Coe will replace Lopez, at least for the time being here, with 23 minutes left to go. I'd imagine this might not be the end of Max Lopez's night. Nice deep ball there, but not played out. Abedian hit it out. So it will be a throw-in for the Tartans in their own territory. And they throw it kind of deep. Well played by the Maroon defense. And a nice deep ball there for the Tartans, but kicked up high and out of play by the defense of the Maroons. So it will be another throw-in for the Tartans in Maroon territory. So a little dancing going on there by the Tartans, and they'll pass it back, and a nice ball in, but well read by the defense for the most part, and oh my goodness, Hill Bonin had to make a very, very good save. That play was kind of fluky. There were a lot of players in the box, especially for the Tartans. Hill Bonin had to make a very, very good stop, and he did just that. And he sends an absolute bomb onto the other side, landing deep into Tartan territory, and that ball will go out of bounds. So Scott Lick will do the throw-in. 21:46 left to go here in the second half. 2-0 to your Maroons over the Tartans. And it's a deep ball in for the Maroons, but it's just a little bit too far. So the Tartans will take over possession. And they'll look to slow it down, get some offense going here. And that ball will go out. A throw-in for the Tartans. And quite a deep one at that, headed away by the Maroons defense once again. So it will go for a third consecutive throw-in for the Tartans. As the 21-minute mark comes near, there'll be another throw-in. And that throw-in's in, and the Maroons kick it away, and the Tartans retain possession, and a nice deep ball in there, but headed away by the Maroon defense on the far side of the field. And the Tartans, the ball's up loose again, and just a high kick to try to clear, but it's a scramble kick there. But the Tartans retain possession, and a nice, pretty ball in there by the Tartans, but to no avail. Nothing doing from that, so we play on. The Maroons retain possession, and they move the ball forward, and oh my goodness, he had some space there. Might have been offsides if he continued, but still. Matthew Coe with some nice footwork out there. Will be a throw-in for the Maroons. Last off of the Tartans on the far side of the field. Crosses midfield, the ball goes into Tartan hands, but the Tartans will retain possession for the time being. Kicked away by the Maroons. Out of bounds, though, so it'll be another throw-in on the far side of the field, where most of the action has happened, funny enough, on the far side of the field. But nevertheless, another throw-in for the Tartans. Back to the back line of the defense. So back line of the defense for the Tartans will handle. Pass coming from Nick Isham. And the deep ball in there. Nobody home for the Tartans, so that ball they'll just let the ball run away and out of the back. So it will be a goal kick for the Maroons. 19:14 left to go here in this second half. Still 2-0 to your Maroons over the Tartans. On a goal kick from Hill Bonin. And it is a beautiful kick across the midfield line. Retained by the Maroons for a second, and then the Tartans recover, and a pretty play forward by the Tartans. Now it'll go out of bounds, and it looks like it will be off of the Maroons, and the Tartans will continue to push forward. Played up by the Maroons for a second, and then the Tartans stepped in and played it. And a great play from Schofield to keep the ball alive and in play. And then he bounced that forward. What a beautiful play and set from Schofield. And he's got a runner into the box. He's around, and it looks like it will be a corner kick. Well done by Schofield there. Josh Schofield had himself quite a nice set. 18 minutes left to go, and he earned himself a fantastic corner kick just by sheer will and guts. So it'll be a corner kick for Renato Corgi. And that kick is up, and it's a high kick. And, he had somebody into the box. He had a cutter there, but he arrived late, and it'll be a foul called in the box. So on the University of Chicago, so it'll be a free kick, goal kick, pseudo goal kick here for the Tartans, but they'll continue to move the ball forward. University of Chicago retains possession, and they move the ball deep once again. And a beautiful play, and oh my goodness, another heavy collision, and it looks like that'll be another yellow card handed out. I believe that's the third disciplinary play for the Tartans here in this second half. And they gave him a red card. Oh my goodness. So it looks like they will be playing with 10 men, if I assume correctly. They will be playing a man down for the rest of this game. That makes it increasingly challenging for the Tartans to really try and score. Already down 2-0. Now a red card has been issued to the Tartans. Rough break for the Tartans, and well played by the Maroons to force a red card there, but looks like some contact was made, and a substitution will be made here. So, believe that's Ben Capilotto who will be coming into the game for the Tartans, as they'll be playing a man down now for the rest of this match. 17-11 left to go. And hopefully, I believe that's 7 who's down. So hopefully Petrakian is all right. They're looking at his leg there. Possible cramping, I can imagine, in this heat. It's hotter than usual here in Chicago in October, so I could imagine that there's some cramping. He's over there stretching out, so hopefully he's all right. Definitely painful, but it'll be a free kick established for the University of Chicago, and a nice kick into the box, and oh, what a nice save there. He needed to make a nice save too, and it looks like the goalie is a little bit lame. Alec Lamb, he took some contact, and there are a couple players down for the Tartans here. It looks like some contact between his own team there, one of his defenders and the goalie, but Alec Lamb is shaken up, and another Tartan player is also down, so quite a few injuries here in the last couple of minutes, but this definitely looks more serious than cramping, as both guys are down. They must have butted heads or something, but unfortunate to see injuries happen in a red-carded game that already had the Tartans down by 1 man and 2 goals. It looks like it's possibly a lower leg injury, bumped knees. That's more of a stinger, so hopefully that's what it is, just a stinger where 2 players collided and hit knees. definitely a painful injury, but we just hope that everybody's okay. Hate to see injuries happen in a game like this that's all but decided because of that red card play. And I believe that means that he's unable to play in the next match too, if I'm correct, right? The guy who got the red card. Both players are still down for the Tartans, and that's definitely not a good sign. Hopefully everybody will be all right as the players have come back to their benches, and looks like a couple guys will be warming up they'll be warming up a new goalie as well, but hopefully everybody's okay over there as the trainers and a couple of their teammates are over there hearing what's going on. .17:05 left to go here in this game once we are able to get it underway, and it looks like now Alec Lamb is up, and he's not down on his back anymore. He's sitting up, and it looks like it's on his own power, so that's definitely a good sign to see. It looks like he's gonna get up here, and now both guys are still a little shaken up here, but we'll keep you updated as to what we know and if we hear anything about injuries and whatnot, but bad blow for the Tartans here. Definitely don't want to see injuries. And it looks like they're carrying one of the guys off, and it looks pretty bad as he's not able to put much weight on that leg, and Jack Painter is the man that's down as well as Lamb, but he's bouncing off. He's not able to walk off under his own power. It looks like his left leg, he's very ginger on that left leg. He's not putting any weight on it, in fact, at all. Bad sign for the Tartans. Just hope everybody's okay. It looks like Lamb is going to stay in the game. They were warming up Alex Singh just in case. Looked like he was getting a little bit loose there for a second, but as Lamb is all right to stay in the game, he's okay, but rough blow. And you hope that it's nothing serious for Jack Painter. So we'll get play resumed here in just a moment. As I believe there's a substitution for Carter Romero. Looks like he's out of the game for the Maroons. Didn't get a chance to see who replaced him. It looks like maybe Dio Adeosun might have come in and replaced him. And deep ball in there as play has resumed for this game. Final 17 minutes here. And the Tartans retain possession. And Alec Lamb with a deep boot. Headed up by the Maroons. And it'll be a foul on the Maroons. So, free kick will be awarded to the Tartans. And a nice deep boot there from the Tartans. Nice header away there. And the Tartans retain possession, and that ball kicked out skillfully to force a throw-in. Good defensive play there by the University of Chicago. And it'll be a throw-in. Throw-in for the Tartans, and looks like the University of Chicago will just clear the field or clear the ball out of their zone, and the Tartans will oblige and kick it back to their defense, and then kick another deep ball in there. And the Maroons retain possession. And the ball works its way up, and a great runner for Scott Lick. And there's the ball high up in the air for Lick, and over, well, in American football, that would have been 3 points, but, or even in rugby, that would have scored points, but not in European soccer. So it'll just go over the back of the net, in the back of the goal, and we'll go for a goal kick for Alec Lamb. And that kick is a rocketer all the way to midfield. Played well by the University of Chicago Maroons. The Maroons will just kick that one out and live to fight another day, as a throw-in will be awarded to the Tartans. And a substitution coming in. Nicholas Poveda will come in. It looks like he will be replacing Zach Moschio-Pinto. So the Tartans retain possession on the far side of the field. 14:30 left to go here in this second half. 2-0 game, favorable to your Chicago Maroons. Tartans have played well, but are playing down one man since, I believe, the 17.5-minute mark. And they're already down 2 goals as well, so that makes for an even larger task for the visiting Tartans. Here at Stag Field, home of the University of Chicago Maroons. This is the Maroon Broadcast Network, as the Maroons are looking to strike once again, and kicked out of there skillfully by Lamb to avoid any further controversy. And potentially a little sloppy play there from the back line, and that'll be another foul on the Tartans. Free kick will be awarded to the Maroons of Chicago. But a beautiful night here in Chicago. It's cooled off wonderfully. It was a bit hot when the game first started, but it has cooled off to a perfect soccer weather. And I bet it feels wonderful on the pitch, as the University of Chicago Maroons will take a free kick, and it's quite a nice one, and a good save from Alec Lamb, who made a good read on where that ball was going. That ball was not hit very hard, but placed in a very good location for the University of Chicago and forced the keeper out of his net. It's a good idea on that pass, but to avoid an offside run, Max Lopez had to let that one go, and it'll work its way back around to the far side for the Tartans, and the Tartans will attack deep here, but well played by the Maroons defense just to kick that one out on the far side. 12:28 to go here in the second half. So the ball would be thrown in, and the Tartans retain possession, and they might have a little thing brewing here. And there's the kick in, and well played by the Maroons back line just to clear it of any potential trouble. And it looks like a good counterattack, but Dio Adeo-san just did miss. He mishandled the ball just a tiny little bit, and that stopped any counterattack from happening immediately. So the Maroons will slow it down here on the Tartan side of the field, far end. They'll work the ball all the way around, back into their end, and over to Scott Lick here on the near side. And kick it up for Max Lopez, and Max Lopez has had an unusually quiet night here, as he's been involved in a lot of the offense, but no goals here for the very powerful striker from the Maroons. So be a goal kick for Hill Bonin. And that play will bloop up into the air, and 50-50 ball won by the Maroons, as The ball gets bopped around a little bit, and nobody really retains possession of it, and the Maroons have possession, and great play by the Tartan defense just to negate any possible run out for the Maroons. And the Maroons contain the ball still. Adeosun with the ball, and he's very crafty and skillful with the ball in his hand. And it looks like a nice run outside, and that'll be a goal. What a play out there. Far side. Fantastic. 10-26. Your University of Chicago Maroons have scored a third goal. Fantastic play there. And a skillful left-footed boot to score it. That's Matthew Coe's second goal of the game. What a fantastic showing from Matthew Coe, who scored a penalty shot earlier and a nice lefty running boot there on the other end. And it looks like he will be taken out now. Gary Zhao will be in the game. The midfielding sophomore from Mason, Ohio. 10:15 left to go here in the second half here at Stagg Field, home of the University of Chicago Maroons. Just a quick recap. A couple of really good goals scored here. All three goals have been scored in the second half. Another substitution as Panos Voulgaris will get into the game. And a couple substitutions will be made. And it looks like Capitosto will be taken out of the game as well. That one will be just headed away skillfully for a Tartan corner. University of Chicago will intercept that. So the Maroons took possession of it briefly, and then pretty good play by the Maroons once again to strip any possession and any potential danger. That'll be kicked off of the Tartans. Again, Ben Capilotto with the ball knocked out on him. So a throw in from Scott Lick. And a nice play there. Dio Adeosun, always fun to watch. He's definitely very crafty with the ball by his side, but it results in a throw in for the Tartans, and it'll be thrown in, and a nice crafty pass by Elliot Cohen there, trying to set his man up with a no-look pass, but all that will result in is a Scott Lick throw-in for your Maroons. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, 3-0 lead here in the second half for your Chicago Maroons. Red card issued around the 17-minute mark, near 10 minutes ago. Penalty kick scored the second goal, and then a beautiful run from Coe to score the last goal. 2 goals in the game for Coe. He's played very well today, as has the rest of the Maroon team, and the Tartans have not played poorly, but they've been very, very physical and very aggressive out there. So kind of led to them only having 10 men on the field as we prepare for another substitution. Bryce Millington will be the man coming into the game. And it looks like it'll be a corner kick from the far end of the field for the Tartans. I believe that's Elliot Cohen taking the whiff out there, taking the boot. And that ball whiffed on everybody. And the Maroons will retain possession, and they'll just kick it away. Still have not allowed that substitution. Retained by the Tartans for just a second, and then on the near side of the field, the Tartans retain possession and whiffed on the head, but very, very crafty play there. Just to kick it out of bounds, and now Bryce Millington will come into the game, as well as Matt DeJesus will come into the game, and They'll take out Jack McCambridge, the Tartans will, and a very fine game from, I believe that's Andre Abedian, who's played quite well here tonight. Had a couple of fine plays. So Scott Lick with another throw-in. And that one headed up by Schofield. And no danger on that play, and kicked up kind of slowly, but that looks like it will be a handball. It's funny, the Tartan guy who caught the ball looked like it was just a wee bit more flagrant, but, you know, after the play, I guess. No harm, no foul. Under 6 minutes left to go here at Stag Field. 3-0 to your Maroons. It's the Maroon Broadcasting Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. And only 2 guys back for the Tartans, and quite a scary play. He needed to play that well, and he did. So the Tartans retained possession for just a second, and then well played by the Maroons. Ball works its way back into the middle of the field, and the Tartans have the ball still. They'll work it back near side. And another pass near side, keeping it near side, and Scott Lick watches him ever so closely. And that'll be just a nice boot up to Zhao. And Zhao will kick it over to Dial, I believe. That's Dial out there. And that ball will be turned over to the Tartans. Tartans look to settle it down. Look for a backdoor cut there from his far outside, but no man was in the vicinity. So that'll just be a simple goal kick here for the Maroons. 3-0's your score with 4.5 minutes left to go here at Staggs Field. Running out of time for the Tartans to try to do anything, but it is difficult with only 10 men, as one of their guys went off with a red card. Looked like initially it was going to be a yellow card, but they upgraded it to a red card with about 2 yellows rather. Very flagrant hit, so it turned out to end up having 10 men for the Tartans. Big change there, as Hill Bonin will just slow the game down a little bit. Take a dribble here and there and drop kick it nice and deep, high up into the sky, and headed off by the Tartans. And the Tartans will work it back to the far side, rather, and then they'll work it back far side. They've got a nice runner out there, and they've got some running, a nice cross into there, but well played by Hill Bonin, and the fine hands of Hill Bonin will just slow the game down. Again, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in the second half here at Stagg Field. Beautiful pitch out here. Football field transferred into a soccer field here today. So playing on some turf rather than grass, but still a beautiful pitch nonetheless. As the Maroons look to kind of hold possession, slow the game down, not try to do anything too crazy. Play catch between their defense and, make some crisp passes. That'll be a pass forward, but just out of the reach of Schofield, so it'll be a throw-in for the Tartans with 2.5 minutes left in your ball game here. The Tartans retain possession, and they pass it around to the back. Kind of play catch, as they've had trouble moving the ball up forward, and an errant pass there from the back end of the Tartans will result in a throw-in once again for Scott Lick. So Scott Lick will throw it in around the midfield line, near side for you. He'll take a nice throw in there, and looks like potentially a foul could have been called there, as there was plenty of contact, but we play on here. Under 2 minutes left to play here, and the Maroons look like they are going to coast to another win which is a really fantastic way of coming back and making an important game, not to say a statement win, because I believe every game is important, but a much needed recovery after their 3-1 loss, or 3-0 loss last week as their first loss of the season. They were number 1 ranked in Division III men's soccer when they lost that game, so they definitely needed a rebound game here, if you will, and they had one. Both teams played very, very well, and I can see why the Tartans are the number 20 team in the nation. They've got a lot of speed out there, and they're savvy as we get under a minute here at Stagg Field. Here on the Maroon Broadcasting Network, the Maroons continue to push the pace and push it together. There's 45 seconds left. It'll be a throw-in for the Chicago Maroons. Be kind of quiet here for the Maroons, I'd imagine. They'll just kind of play keep away from the Tartans. And oh my goodness, quite a takedown from Schofield, but no call. 2 guys went flying, and my goodness, looks like Schofield might have gotten the worst of that, but we play on here with about 15 seconds left to go, and a very well played game by the University of Chicago.
7, 6,
As the game's kind of slowed down here, we're under 5 seconds.
1.
And that's your ball game here from Alonzo Stagg Field here in the beautiful city of Chicago. Your final score, University of Chicago Maroons 3. Your Carnegie Mellon University Tartans 0. Fantastic match here from the University of Chicago. The Maroons really dominated the most of this game, but both teams played very, very well. The Tartans did have a lot of power out there, and they were able to play pretty well disciplined. It was a great first half. Neither team looked like they were going to pull ahead in that first half, but that second half was dominated. 3 goals, and such a fine play out there from Matthew Coe, who had 2 goals, a penalty shot and another goal. A fantastic runner from his left foot, booted left into the goal. Fantastic play. A couple of scary plays out there, some injuries, but everything is left on the field of soccer as the 2 teams meet in the middle and shake hands, or the pseudo-middle, if you will. But fantastic game from the Chicago Maroons. They really needed this game to redeem themselves after their loss last week, 3-0 against Emory College. So a fine win for the University of Chicago. The next game from the Maroons will be in 2 days against Case Western Reserve at 11 a.m. So stay tuned for that on, I believe that's Sunday, 11 a.m. game on the pitch. So you can look for it here at Alonzo Stagg Field. And until our next broadcast, it's been an absolute pleasure here today from the University of Chicago. An absolutely beautiful night here in Chicago, so enjoy it. We might not have too many more of them this year. And your final score, Chicago Maroons 3. Your Carnegie Mellon University Tartans 0. So for Pete Ferreri, Dan the Man, from the far east of North London, and for all of the great people here putting on the game for the University of Chicago and for the visiting Carnegie Mellon Tartans, this is Alex Reed, and I hope you have a fantastic night, and have a good night until our next broadcast.